Poll find Harris rising as she challenged Trump on change. Voters were more likely to view her as a break from the status quo. Voters are now more likely to credit Vice President Kamala Harris than Donald J. Trump with representing change and caring about people like them, as Ms. Harris takes a slim lead nationally in the race for the White House, according to the latest New York Times Siena College poll. The findings is the first time Ms. Harris has led Mr. Trump in the Times Siena poll since July, when President Biden dropped out of the race and the Democrats rallied behind Ms. Harris as its replacement. It comes as the contest moves into its final months, and the survey from the battleground state find the race to be one of the closest in modern history. While the Times Siena poll shows some solid advantages for Mr. Trump, the results suggest Ms. Harris is making gains, if small ones, on questions about temperament, trust, and change that can be critical in a presidential race. The poll conducted from September 29th to October 6th among 3,385 likely voters found that Ms. Harris led Mr. Trump, the Republican, by 49% to 46%, a slight lead that is within the poll's margin of error. Mr. Trump and Ms. Harris were even at 47% each in a mid-September Times Siena poll after the two candidates met in their first and probably only presidential debate. Ms. Harris has since shored up her support among older voters and has begun making inroads among Republicans. 9% said they planned to support her, up slightly from 5% last month. She also appeared to have closed the gap on the question of change, a critical factor in an election where voters have repeatedly told pollsters they believe the United States is heading in the wrong direction. Mr. Trump, 78, who has voted out of the White House in 2020, has presented himself as an agent of change and has regularly tried to saddle Ms. Harris with the unpopular parts of Mr. Biden's record. But the Times Siena poll found that more voters said Ms. Harris was the candidate representing change in this election, 46% to 44%. The finding was a first for Ms. Harris. In previous Times Siena polls, Mr. Trump has been identified as the candidate of change. Ms. Harris, who is 59, was seen by a wide margin, 61% to 29%, as the change candidate among voters who are not white. Younger voters see her as the change candidate by a lopsided margin, 58% to 34%. The age difference between the two candidates make a huge difference on change, said D. 58, a Democrat in Memphis, who said he intended to vote for Ms. Harris. They see the world differently, they look at the world differently, and they have different views about the world. Mr. Trump held on to the edge as a strong leader, albeit by a narrow margin, which could prove crucial with the Middle East in turmoil. But Ms. Harris was, by a wide margin, seen as more honest and trustworthy than Mr. Trump, and the Ms. Harris, whose campaign has promoted videos and memes of laughing, joking, and dancing, was viewed as the more fun of the two candidates. The poll found that 43% of likely voters and 13% of Republicans thought Ms. Harris was more fun. But Mr. Trump had some clear advantages. He's leading among male voters by 11 points. He won them against Mr. Biden by 2 points in 2020, and 42% of respondents said Mr. Trump's policies had helped them personally, compared with 22% who said the same about Mr. Biden's policy. More voters said they trusted Mr. Trump than Ms. Harris to manage what continued to be the top area of concern: the economy. Abortion and immigration were a distant second. The economic mood in the nation remains at gloom. 75% of respondents said the economy was in fair or poor condition, the same as last month, and nearly 3/4 of respondents said they had sometimes cut back on groceries in the last year because of cost.